Israeli police are describing the incident as a terror attack. A car rammed into a number of pedestrians standing at a shopping centre in Tel Aviv, injuring 8 people. Israeli authorities say the driver then got out of the vehicle and tried to stab people with a sharp object. The driver of the car was killed by an armed civilian, according to police. Meanwhile, as Israel's largest military operation in the occupied West Bank in decades enters its second day, the death toll is rising and Palestinian authorities are urging the international community to respond. Israel has deployed hundreds of soldiers to target what it's calling a militant command and control centre in the crowded refugee camp. But as streets are bulldozed, cutting water and electricity, streams of families are fleeing the camp. Palestinian officials say at least 10 people have been killed and almost 100 injured. UN aid agencies are expressing alarm at the scale of the operation. CNN's Hadass Gold joins me now live in Tel Aviv. Hadass.
Hey, Max, I'm actually just arrived at the scene of this car ramming. Police have already cordoned off several blocks here. This is a neighborhood, I would say it's in northeast Tel Aviv, and according to police, in the last hour or 2 hours is when this ramming attack took place. It took place just outside a shopping center. I spoke to a witness who says that they saw the car come up and hit what looked to be pedestrians standing outside the shopping center, potentially at a bus stop. They say that the bus stop, and you can see it, is completely destroyed. Police say that the driver then got out and tried to stab people. He was shot dead by an armed civilian who was on the scene. We know that at least 8 people are injured. At least one of them is critical, and police are calling this a terror attack. An Israeli defense official telling CNN that the driver was a Palestinian from the southern part of the West Bank, from Hebron. There's still a question as to whether this person entered Israel with a permit or whether they crossed illegally. Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad have praised the attack, but as of this very moment, they have not claimed responsibility, although, of course, Hamas had called on all of its members, all of its cells, to react to what's been happening in Jenin by striking Israel, it said, wherever they can. Of course, this coming on the second day now of that massive Israeli military operation in Jenin, which is still ongoing as we speak.
Hadass, thank you. We're going to go to journalist Elliot Gotkin now, live in Tel Aviv, with more on that military operation in Jenin, which is ongoing. Elliot.
Very much so, Max. It started, 38 hours ago, so more than a day and a half ago. It began, of course, with a drone strike on what Israel says was a command and control center that was being used by the Jenin Brigades, which is a militant group affiliated with Islamic Jihad. It said that that particular building was also being used as an observation post and also as a refuge for militants, that they would seek refuge there after carrying attacks out against Israelis or Israeli settlers. So this operation is ongoing. As you say, the death toll is now 10, according to the Palestinian Ministry of Health. Israel says that all of them were either militants or they were attacking their troops. They say that there were no uninvolved civilians that have been killed so far. Around about 100 have been injured, according to the Ministry of Health, the Palestinian Ministry of Health. About 20 of those critically. Israel also saying that it's detained around 120 people. And what it says, it's got 10 more targets, 10 targets, all infrastructure related, according to Israel, which it is going to be targeting in order to be able to say that it is job done. Now, we don't know when this operation is going to be concluded. It could be a few hours, it could be another day. It's pretty much open-ended. And of course, the longer this operation goes on, the greater the concern will be, both for the civilian population there and also for the risks of some kind of escalation. Now, the Palestinian Authority, the Jordanians, the Egyptians, the Emiratis have all condemned Israel's incursion into Jenin. We've seen some 3,000 civilians, according to the Palestinian Red Crescent, leaving the Jenin refugee camp to take shelter in other parts of the refugee camp or in Jenin itself. Israel says it didn't ask them to leave; that they left, obviously, to get out of harm's way. But as I say, the greater risk here is that there could be some kind of escalation. The US, while reiterating its support for Israel's right to defend itself, has highlighted the need to avoid civilian casualties as well. And of course, for now, it is very much focused in Jenin. We've seen this attack in Tel Aviv. And of course, Israel is saying that it is prepared for all eventualities and will no doubt be keeping a very close watch on the borders with Gaza and Lebanon and Syria as well. Max?